regret, that's your advantage. That's your fire. Don't hide it. Don't bury it. Use it. Channel it. Let it remind you every single day why you can't quit. Why you can't afford to be average. Why you must become someone they never saw coming. Because the more pain you've endured, the more pressure you've survived, the more dangerous you become. Not in a loud, flashy way, in a silent, cold-blooded way. Because you've already walked through hell and now there's nothing left to fear. Every scar you carry is proof that you didn't fold, that you kept going, that you bled but refused to break. And when people look at you now, they see the strength, but not the story. They see the result, but not the war you had to fight to get here. That's why you keep using it. You don't let it fade. You let it drive you. When you feel tired, you remember the nights you cried and kept pushing. When you feel weak, you remember the moments you wanted to quit, but didn't. That's how you create an identity forged in pain, a version of yourself that doesn't need motivation because the suffering has already carved the discipline into your bones. It's easy to show up when things are going well. It's easy to smile when the money's flowing and everyone claps for you. But what about when no one claps? When it's just you, the grind, and the silence. That's when most people give up. That's when they fold under pressure. But you, that's when you go harder. That's when you double down. That's when you let the pain fuel the fire inside of you and burn through the doubt, the fear, the fatigue. Pain isn't the problem. Your response to it is. Obsession is the difference between someone who tries and someone who dominates. Trying is what average people do. They try when it's convenient, when it's easy, when they feel good. But the obsessed, they don't care how they feel. They don't care what day it is. They don't care who believes in them or who doubts them. They show up regardless. They grind like they're at the bottom, even when they're already winning. Obsession is a sickness that turns ambition into action and action into results. It's the mindset that says, I don't want to win, I need to. The world belongs to the obsessed, the ones who aren't satisfied with good enough. The ones who train like machines, who read like addicts, who build like maniacs. Obsession makes you dangerous because it makes you consistent. It makes you hungry in moments where others would quit. It makes you push one more rep, one more hour, one more sacrifice. The average man can't compete with the obsessed because the obsessed man will die before he settles. You can't fake obsession. You can fake motivation, you can fake interest, but obsession is different. Obsession wakes you up in the middle of the night with ideas. Obsession keeps you focused when everyone around you is distracted. Obsession doesn't ask for permission, it takes, it moves, it builds. And the best part? Obsession doesn't need applause. It doesn't need attention. It's not about being seen. It's about being undeniable. And when you show up every day with that level of hunger, the universe bends. Things move, doors open, not because you're lucky, because you're relentless. People fear the obsessed because they can't understand them. They call you crazy. They say you're overdoing it. That's fine. Let them talk. Let them sleep. Let them waste their time. Because while they're chilling, you're building. While they're doubting, you're developing. While they're complaining, you're climbing. That's the price of obsession. Isolation, discomfort, pain. But it's also the secret to domination. You don't become great by being balanced. You become great by going all in. The obsessed don't have time for distractions, for weakness, for mediocrity. They cut the noise, they kill the laziness, they sacrifice the now for the future. And when the results show up, they don't act surprised. They knew this moment was coming because they never stopped preparing for it. Every rep, every rejection, every lonely night was a deposit into the future they refused to let die. Obsession is what takes you from average to animal. It rewires your brain to see challenge as opportunity. It makes you immune to failure because even when you fall, you don't stay down. You analyze, you adapt, you rise stronger. Because the obsession doesn't let you rest. It doesn't let you settle. It keeps whispering more, better, faster, stronger. And you obey, not because you're chasing perfection, but because you know you're not done yet. That's what separates you. Not luck, not talent, not some magical shortcut. Just obsession. Raw, ruthless, unshakable obsession. The kind that burns through obstacles and makes your name echo in rooms you've never even stepped into. You don't need to explain it. You just live it. And soon, they'll see it. They'll see the work. They'll see the discipline. They'll see the results. And by then, it'll be too late to catch up. Because you weren't just interested, you were obsessed. Be feared for your focus, not liked for your weakness. The truth is, most people would rather be accepted than be respected. They chase approval like it's a drug, constantly needing validation, constantly adjusting themselves to fit into rooms filled with people who don't even respect them. That's the weakness they carry, this need to be liked. But the ones who truly rise, the ones who dominate, they don't care about being liked. They care about being effective. They care about winning. They care about staying locked in on their mission, regardless of how anyone feels about it. That's what makes them dangerous. That's what makes people either admire them or fear them, because their focus is ruthless, cold, relentless, unshakable. Focus is the rarest currency in a world designed to distract you. Every second you give to nonsense, to drama, to gossip, to scrolling, to comparing, every second is a piece of your potential being stolen. And once it's gone, it's not coming back. That's what most don't understand. They think time is the problem. Time isn't the problem. Your lack of focus is. You're not too busy. You're too distracted. You're trying to do everything so you do nothing. But when a man locks in, when he truly eliminates every distraction, cuts out every toxic influence, tunes out every voice that doesn't build him, he becomes unstoppable. And the world doesn't know what to do with a focused man. People can't manipulate him, they can't delay him, they can't convince him to compromise. He's dangerous because his vision is tunnel locked and his actions match it. He's not chasing claps, followers, likes, or applause. He's chasing results. And results don't come from popularity. They come from discipline, from silence, from grinding when no one's watching. They come from being so dialed in that the world starts moving around you, not the other way around. People fear what they can't distract. They fear what they can't manipulate. And when you become the kind of man who doesn't need permission, who doesn't need recognition, who doesn't need to be understood, you become a menace to their comfort zone. They'll say you're distant. They'll say you're too cold, too harsh, too intense. Good. Let them. Because you know the truth. You weren't born to be soft. You weren't born to be liked. You were born to lead, to conquer, to dominate. And to do that, you need focus so sharp it cuts through every lie, every weakness, every excuse. That focus will cost you. It'll cost you friendships. It'll cost you nights out. It'll cost you comfort. But it'll pay you in freedom, in strength, in respect. You don't need to be the loudest. You just need to be the most locked in. The man who shows up every day without fail, without emotion, with purpose in his eyes and precision in his steps. That man doesn't just succeed, he scares people. Because he's proof that it's possible, and he's a threat to everyone still making excuses. And you see, I'm a man that's being feared for your focus. Isn't about intimidation, it's about inspiration. It's about becoming a mirror that reflects back everyone's laziness, and they either use it to rise or resent you for exposing them. Either way, it doesn't matter to you. Because your focus isn't for sale. Your vision isn't up for debate. You know what you're building, and nothing, no person, no distraction, no weakness is allowed to stand in your way. You weren't put here to blend in. You weren't put here to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You were put here to take over, to lead, to break systems, to make noise with results. And you don't do that by being liked. You do that by being focused, by being consistent, by being willing to go where others won't for longer than they ever could. Don't fit in, stand out, and take over. That's the formula. That's the energy. That's the standard. Fitting in is the disease. Blending in is the death of greatness. Why would you want to be another copy when you were born to be a one of one? The system is designed to tame you, to make you obedient, compliant, predictable. They want you tired. They want you confused. They want you addicted to comfort and scared of risk. Because then you're controllable. But when you decide to break out of that system, to stop playing small, to stop chasing what everyone else is chasing, you become a problem. You become a threat to the machine. The truth is, standing out takes courage, it takes backbone, it takes fire. Because once you break free from the crowd will try to pull you back in. They'll mock you, question you, laugh at you, doubt you. Let them. That's the resistance you push through on your way to becoming elite. You don't need to convince them. You just need to continue. Every step away from the herd is a step closer to your real self. And when you reach that point, where you're no longer affected by their noise, no longer tempted by their approval, you take over, quietly, powerfully, completely. Standing out isn't about being flashy. It's about being solid. It's about having a foundation that no storm can shake. It's about doing the work so consistently, with so much intensity that eventually even your enemies have to respect it. You don't need to announce your greatness. You build it. You live it. You show up day after day, whether anyone notices or not. That's what separates you. That's what makes you undeniable. The takeover doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the shadows, in the silence, in the lonely hours when no one's watching. That's when legends are built. Not when the cameras are on, but when you grind like they never will. When you push like they never could. That's when you stop being one of them and start becoming one of one. They won't understand it at first. That's fine. They're not supposed to. Most people will never get what it takes to stand out because they've spent their whole lives trying to fit in. But the moment you stop asking for permission and start claiming space, the world starts reacting differently. You stop being invisible. You stop being overlooked. You start becoming the name they whisper, the one they watch, the one they can't explain but can't ignore. That's the power of standing out. That's the result of going all in. That's what happens when you stop shrinking to fit into a system that was never built for men like you. You're not here to take part. You're here to take over. You're not here to get by. You're here to dominate. And if that makes people uncomfortable, good. You weren't built to be a comfort. You were built to be a fire, a force, a standard, a reminder of what happens when focus, discipline, and obsession collide. So stand out, be bold, be unapologetically intense. Let the world adjust to you, not the other way around. You're not just here to exist. You're here to leave a mark so deep they can't erase you even when you're gone. You've been lied to. They told you comfort was success. They told you being liked was more important than being respected. They trained you to be average, to follow, to settle. But you've seen through it now. Comfort is the enemy. Excuses are poison. You don't need to be liked. You need to be feared. For your discipline, your silence, your results. You don't get stronger by avoiding pain. You get stronger by walking straight into it and refusing to fold. Your suffering is your fuel. Your past, that's the blueprint. Every scar, every failure, every lonely night, that's the training ground where warriors are built. You don't escape it, you use it. You let it harden you, sharpen you, drive you. Obsession? That's not unhealthy. That's the requirement. That's what separates the kings from the clowns. The obsessed don't need permission. They move in silence and they strike with force. They don't care about followers. They care about legacy. And the focus, that laser focus, that's what makes you untouchable. The world can't stop a man who knows what he wants and won't be distracted. Not by women, not by friends, not by comfort. The world fears that man because they can't control him. So don't fit in. Don't soften your edge. Stand out, be intense, be dangerous. Be the reminder that greatness doesn't come to the polite, it comes to the ruthless, the relentless. The ones who made a decision to dominate, no matter what it costs. Become a menace and let the world adjust to your presence. They told you to calm down, you didn't. Now they can't ignore you.